Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maximo and I'm here checking out Little Deviants. This is being recorded in between Doom coming out and LA Noire and Skyrim coming out on Switch, and I thought to myself, what's the best way to actually do something on Vita that doesn't make me look like a lazy bastard when it comes to Vita? And I thought, well, we'll go grab this instead. So, let's go have a quick look around, shall we? This is the gimmick game, just so you know. You can change your music and your effects volume, turn off online, and you can even change the handedness, which changes what side the buttons that you need to tap on come up with, which is actually kind of a nice thing. And there's also tilt angle, which you can only change in the middle of a game that requires the motion sensor for some reason, but we'll work with it. So, this is the gimmick game, as I said. This is the game that they had to put out to advertise all of the Vita's weird input functionality. The rear touchpad, the touchscreen, the motion sensor, the shoulder buttons, and the buttons themselves, even though I don't think the buttons themselves actually get that much usage in this game, like at all. I haven't seen the buttons get used in this game yet, but the general idea is it's a bunch of mini-games. They claim it's a story mode, but the entire story seems to be the Deviants are being chased around by the robots and they land on the innocent planet Earth replacement and basically screw everything up. That's literally it. There doesn't seem to be a story at all. So you can go to games to play the games individually and challenge your friends' high scores, which I will show what challenging high scores looks like. But other than that, there's nothing else to it, really. Notably, you can challenge and contest people's high scores, which is actually kind of a neat little function. And if someone has the, or should I say, had the demo version of Little Deviants, you can actually drop them a gift on Nier, which would unlock this game in their game. But since Nier is down, RIP, and will be down forever, it means that you don't get to do that anymore, which kind of sucks, but oh well. You can also check your player record here, which will show the high scores on all of the games that you have played so far. I've played through about 11 or 12 of them, and the game's only got 30. I was originally planning to play until they either A, started repeating minigames, or B, I got to the end of them, and they started repeating minigames around minigame number 10, so that's kind of annoying. You do also have two sets of collectibles you can get. There's Moggers, one of which will show up in every minigame, and if you collect them, you get to keep them. However, I don't think they actually do anything. As you can see, he just stands there. They more or less just stand there, and if you tap the thing again, they go back into their little paintings, and there's 30 of them. And the gallery works in pretty much the same way. You just unlock them via playing through the game and getting silver medals on specific games, or pretty much every game, really. And then once you've got them in the little gallery here, you can tap on it and you can look at it. That's pretty much it. I assume that's concept art. But yeah, not much in the way of, like, actual progression going on. So, let's just hit up the story mode. So, the way this game works is you have two new mini-games unlocked at any one time, and you can play whichever one of them you wish. And if you complete them by getting a certain amount of points, which you use to get a bronze medal, you unlock the next game. Silver unlocks gallery art, and all gold is required for the platinum trophy. So we are going to play Rolling Horror first, which is actually just a reskin of the first minigame you get in this, but, well, we'll get to the games being, a lot of the games being reskins shortly. There's a neat style and theme going on with it, and it's got a tiny little bit of charm, although the Deviants, which are basically the main characters of this game, are a lot like minions in that they're needlessly annoying and basically have no real character for themselves, which is surprisingly frustrating. So the idea of this minigame is you got to collect the keys to unlock the portal, and once you've unlocked the portal, you'll go roll into it, and once you run out of health, you're done. There are also stage limits. So you do need to do particularly well on stages. Like, one of the usual bonus objectives that'll come up is if you collect all the stars, you'll get bonus points, which is at least worth your effort to try, although this game's difficulty level is actually surprisingly high. It's not like Nintendo, where they'll let you more or less be god in these sorts of like little minigame collections relatively easily. No, it's actually surprisingly difficult. Halfway because of the input methods. As I said before, the game is mainly the weirder input methods. So, like the touchscreen, the microphone gets to show up once or twice. I'll actually play that minigame just to show you what it's like because it's fucking retarded. And, oh yeah, I actually get to do a fire blast. Except I was nowhere bloody near where I needed to be to actually use it to make it any useful, but oh well. But yeah, basically it's just all the weird input methods, and so when you're trying to play games with the bloody accelerometer or the accelerometer or the bloody rear touchpad as I'm trying to do here, it can get surprisingly difficult to control what you're doing at times. Why the hell am I not fire blasting it? There we go. 503 points for me. You can see your points up in the top right there. Points are a thing that is always in this game. You'll never have to worry about not playing a game that has a bloody point meter, which is kind of frustrating actually. You need to play a couple of mini games that have no points, but at the same time they want you to be competitive, don't they? So there you go. There we go. So yeah, the difficulty being introduced by the weird control scheme is one of the main problems I have with this game. Especially on some of the games where it's actually surprisingly annoying to play them for long stretches of time. Like, you've got this game here, which isn't too bad, but if you get into one of the games that has the accelerometer stuff built into it, it can actually hurt. It can start to hurt tilting this damn thing all over the damn place trying to play the game properly. Hang on, I'm under attack here, and it's one of those zombie ones, so the screen goes all weird. There. Me own, please. And as you can see, these can go on for a surprisingly long time. That is my other major gripe with this game's minigames. The amount of stages for every game in this little thing going on here seems way too high. I think that the game would have been served way better by splitting the stages into 3 groups and then making them your requirements in a way. Like, say, do the first 3 stages for the bronze medal, the second set of stages, 4 through 6, for the silver medal, and so on like that. Most of these usually have a lot of stages, and minigames like this can take anywhere up to 10 to 15 minutes to play through in their entirety. Some of these games don't 100% comply with this, like the little Pac-Man style one. It isn't that bad about it. You usually won't be in that one for longer than 5 minutes, which is still a bit much, but at the same time, it's nowhere near as bad as it feels when you're playing with this set of bloody things. But yeah, the minigames can just feel like they go on for way too flippin' long. You can spend way too much time playing these games just because in order to actually get the high scores, you need to go through all of these stages. And not only do you need to go through all these stages, you need to go through all of them almost perfectly, because the amount of points that the game requires you to get gold is just retarded. Thankfully, you don't need gold to progress in this game, but for completionists, I could see them really having a problem with the amount of time it takes to play these minigames. All credit to Big Ben Interactive, who made this game, though. Some of these minigames are actually pretty good. Like, there are some that are legit unique ideas, and they are surprisingly fun to play. Like, I'll try and find the one that I was playing earlier that I quite liked, which was basically a hoverbike chase, but with motion controls, and the ability to brake and boost. I thought that was a really unique idea, and there's a couple of ideas like that. There are also some ideas that just plain don't work. One of the big ones that I am just remembering off the top of my head is one where you have to use the microphone to do pitches. And I can't do pitches with my voice to save my life, I'll tell you that much. It's surprising just how badly that game feels fucked up. But anyway, I'm not going to waste any more time on this minigame because I've already got the silver medal, so I'm just going to sit here and wait until I die, because if I stay here any longer, I'm probably going to go a little mad. There we go, much better. you know, 30,000 points isn't too bad. Got me the silver, so I'll get the gallery item. And I also got the Moogle, or whatever the hell they call it. Exit the level, and we will go and find another game to play. Although it will show us what one we've unlocked first. And maybe even we've unlocked... Yeah, we've unlocked a new region. Although I don't think the regions actually have anything to do with anything. Got a gallery item, okay. Alright, so let's hop into the game again. I just need to remember which one the hover bike is in. I can't say I remember too well. No, it's not Shack Shover, it's not the hot air balloon one, and it's not Cloud Rush. No, it's not in this one, it's in another one. Although I might show off that hot balloon one if I remember to. Depth Charge is a new one, but we will play that one just to see what it's like. Corridor Caper is the Pac-Man one. Nope, I've made the wrong decision every bloody time here. Which one of these is the whole bike? That's the microphone. There it is, Death Speeder. Alright, let's do it. That was my chair. That was also my chair. And away we go. This cutscene is a neat and add a little bit of flavor to the whole thing. But anyway, away we go, as I said. Whoop, I just completely missed. Oh god. Hang on. Can I change the tilt angle in this one? I can. So, this is the tilt angle, by the way. This determines what the default accelerometer position is, which is actually kind of a neat feature, if only because Vita games are known for having weird problems with the accelerometer and having to reset it every couple of minutes, just because, you know, the natural holding position never stays exactly in the same place. It's a neat solution to the idea, but at the same time, I feel that it's slightly wasted, if only because of the fact that it just doesn't feel like it gives you enough options. Like, being able to adjust the angle, like, down to the bloody decimal points would be fantastic, in my view. I mean, they've shown that you can... Ow. They've shown that you can do it just fine with that little menu there. Why not let me just tinker with the bare numbers more than anything else? Whoop, that's a train. The accelerometer controls in this game are just a little bit wonky because they're really, really sensitive. Oh, come on. Really? How did I just barely hit myself there. As you can see down the bottom right, that's how close he is to me. As I said about the length of the games, this game would feel really better suited if I could, like, escape after a certain point and then, like, get bonus points, but obviously to get gold, I'd have to collect everything with, like, a time bonus or something. Maybe, but yeah. The games just feel slightly too long to be particularly enjoyable, which is the biggest problem I have with this game, just because when you have games with such simple concepts, playing them for too long is a bit draining. So, yeah, no. It's disappointing, but at least they're constantly giving you, like, new games and new ideas to play with, except when they start giving you the bloody repeats. And the repeats are surprisingly annoying in this sort of genre, because considering that the game's only got 30 games overall, the fact that some of them have to be repeats is really frustrating more than anything else. I'm going to start crashing here just so I can have this damn thing catch up to me. There we go. This chair is really old and creaky. I'm sorry if you can hear it in the background there. The game's performance is alright. It doesn't drop frames or anything, doesn't do anything ridiculous. I don't see or notice any major problems with it. Let's play the bloody microphone one, why not? This is gonna end horribly. I would suggest taking off your headphones. So I'll just fill you in on the concept real quick. You've got 3 lines that they throw stuff at you on, but there's also stuff you'll want to get. So you want to make the right tone at the right time, which makes this game an absolute chore. Nope, just threw one of the star. It's... Yeah, as you can see, it's kind of random what tone works with what. So it just makes the game an absolute chore. Neat idea, but it sucks. Let's just stop there. Might as well go try and find one of those, Actually, no, I'll show you one that's slightly different. Then we'll go do the Pac-Man one. The Hot Air Hero one isn't actually that bad. Although this is going to require me doing a little bit of editing. Because this game, surprise, surprise, goes vertical. So, this one's a bit odd. So the way this works is, you gotta use the rear touchpad to get this guy up in the air. And then you gotta tap all the bots that come to cut holes in your thing. This is surprisingly difficult to do while... This is surprisingly difficult to do while holding your Vita in one hand. Then it turns into a bloody accelerometer bonus stage for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why it does this, but it does. And you can see down the bottom left there that there's a sort of accelerometer centering little thing there, which is a pretty nice thing to have actually in this sort of game, just because it makes it a lot easier to see exactly where the center point is. This doesn't come up in every game, but in the games where it does come up, it's actually quite useful. So it's a nice little thing to have. So sometimes it's original, sometimes it just feels the need to repeat itself annoyingly, but usually it's okay. Like, it's not horrendously gimmicky, but it's still pretty gimmicky, and it can be a bit of a pain to play, but when they have a decent idea going in this game, you can pretty much guarantee that they will... When they have a decent idea going in this game, you can pretty much guarantee you'll have a little bit of fun with it. At the very least. I will admit that I like this more than I expected to. Hello, random Deviant just parachuting in front of me. Yes, I will admit I like this game a fair bit more than I expected to. Obviously, I don't think it's that fantastic, but... Alright, you get the general idea, so we're going to exit out of this one too. It actually gets really hard later on. Like, as soon as you go through, like, the second bonus stage, they cause holes as pretty much as soon as they land. It's extremely hard to keep up, actually. Bots Invasion, we can't play that because that's an AR game where it requires you to look around your bloody room, and it's really quite something. I can't do it with the cables plugged in, which is really quite unfortunate. Corridor Caper, I think that's the, yeah, this is the Pac-Man one. This one doesn't take very long at all, so we should be able to do a full run of it. So, Little Deviants right now is... I went and checked on the store. Oh yeah, by the way, this is literally just Pac-Man, but you have a timer, so you have to go and collect the clocks. Collect all the clocks to get the next set of clocks to spawn. That's pretty much the entire idea. Notice that I was very careful not to say cocks there. So, oh yeah, and if you get hit by a bot, it just resets you, which obviously costs you very valuable time. But yeah, as I was about to say, the game is currently $13.49 on the PlayStation Store, And that is full price. That is its current price right now. So if it goes on sale, it'll probably be on sale for something like $5. Which honestly isn't the worst idea I've ever heard. I mean, sure, there are much better ways you could be spending your time, but I mean, if you're looking for a weird little gimmicky style game to play. See, in this mode, you don't really want to go for the stars, because finishing the mazes by collecting the clocks as quickly as possible is the fastest way to get bonus points. So, I don't really know why the stars don't give you, like, more points in this game, but apparently they don't, so what have you, and I can tap this to disable the bots and give me a little bit of time to get around him without getting shocked to hell. Thankfully, the bots in this game are actually relatively reasonable. Unless they get caught in a corner like that, they will never turn around. So that's actually a nice little game logic rule to play by there. I mean, obviously, the motion controls and all of that it's all just a little bit gimmicky, but at the same time, it's enjoyable. They come up with a neat few ways to use it, and I find myself enjoying it a fair bit more than I should. And if it goes under $10 and you don't mind this sort of thing, I have no reason to say why not. More or less, right? Yeah, we're done. Quite difficult, as I said. There are online trophies, by the way. You do actually have to challenge and beat a friend in order to get some trophies required to get the platinum. So, if you want to play this game, I suggest picking it up now before they decide to shut the servers down on it. Because if they do, well, bad news, Hotshot. No platinum trophy for you. Let's go check out this game here. Hopefully it's not something we've already played. Risky Rambler. It's about the same as the Pac-Man game, except the stages are bigger. What's one last game we can play that's unique? Oh yeah, it's gonna have to be the Chalet Shover, isn't it? If that's how you even pronounce that. This has already shown up once in the game, so not particularly great, but here's the general idea. Tap the bastards to make them fall out, whether it be rear touch or front touch. Don't touch the people, and don't touch the Deviants. The rear touchpad is actually pretty well used in this game. The accuracy is actually pretty damn good, at least on the fat Vita, which is what I'm using right now. I can see slim people having a bit of a problem with this game. But still, it's not bad. I'm waiting for them to start introducing the one that knocks people out of the window if you let them live too long. That was the one right there. Unfortunately, I knocked one of my own dudes out of the window and I lost time for it, which kind of sucks. I completely missed my... Yeah, that was a failure of a stage for me right there. Let's do better than that next time, shall we? Just missed the clock, but it's not like it matters. These games really do go on for a little bit too long. Obviously not something I'd recommend you run out and buy immediately, but it looks interesting enough to you when you can deal with the controls being that little bit weird as they are with these sorts of games, then you'll probably be fine. Oh, there was the Moogle or whatever it is for this level. It's not Moogle, is that? I've been playing too much World of Warcraft lately. No, it's, I'll be damned if I can be bothered to remember right now. This does actually get quite hectic at the very end. Whoop, that was a friendly. There we go. So that was a quick look at Little Deviants. It's alright. It's okay. It's a neat little collection of minigames, but they're just a bit too long and a bit too reliant on the silly gimmicky control schemes, but considering that the game is starting out relatively cheap as is, getting it when it's cheaper probably isn't the absolute worst idea, although to be fair, considering it's literally been 5 years since this game bloody came out, it's probably... you could probably do a lot better for a lot less. I'm just saying, it's not terrible. And it's not actually... it's not bad, it's actually decent. I'll give it that, it's decent. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.